So my name's Tyler Henderson. I'm on the Seller Labs team. I run partnerships and affiliates for them. So that's coming and hanging out with cool guys like you in the Seller's Choice team, as well as going out into the community, being a liaison, learning what the seller community wants and working with them that way. And then with all the awesome people who are there. So Seller Labs is a suite of software that helps sellers, specifically on the Amazon Marketplace, build their brand and do everything that helps you with that on Amazon. So that's everything from requesting reviews and seller feedback, to running PPC, to looking at the data that helps you grow your business. And so we're helping both sellers and agencies and brands all do that on the Amazon Marketplace.
Beautiful. So it's a full suite of tools, correct?
Yeah, we have a full suite of tools. We got 3 tools and another tool in beta.
Nice. Which one? So I know Ignite, of course. Obviously, we use Feedback Genius all the time as well. Scope is fantastic. And you have Quantify. Is that the one that's in beta?
Yeah, Quantify is the one that's in beta.
Okay. I was say that one. I was like, that one seemed to know. Nice. So what is it each of those guys does?
Yeah. So Ignite, like I said, Ignite's probably is our newest tool. That's the one that we've been working on revamping for the better part of last year, and then we relaunched it this year. And what it helps your sponsored product ads all on Amazon and really get suggestions and manage it in a really cool, really efficient way. So you're spending like 20 minutes, 30 minutes a week on what we think you should do, all like automated. It's super awesome. Feedback Genius, is one of our oldest tools. It's been like one of the first tools we brought to market. It's been around for about 5 years. And what it helps you do is really build your brand, right? And that's asking for seller feedback, asking for product reviews, because most people don't realize that only about 0.5 to 2% of people leave a product review. But if you send an email making a request for one, you can see that number at least double, normally sitting in that 2 to 4% range. And so if you're trying to get those initial product reviews, which sellers on the Amazon Marketplace know are important, then getting that extra bump is going to help you so much when it comes to sales. And then Scope is a keyword research tool. It's going to help you figure out which keywords are causing your competitors to really sell. And then you can kind of look at that and adjust your keywords and plan your PPC based on those keywords as well.
Okay.
Then Quantify helps you look at the data, tells you which items are most profitable. It's a kind of work in progress.
Nice.
That's in beta currently.
So you guys clearly have basically all the bases covered, so we could sit here all day and dig into each of them. So let's go on the assumption I'm a seasoned seller. I've been around for a while. I know what I'm doing, but I don't want to jump into all 4. Where do you usually suggest them to start off? Yeah,
I'd say the first thing that you need to do before jumping into any of them is to do a minor account audit for yourself and see take a look at yourself and maybe figure out where you need to most improve your account. Because obviously PPC is something, and advertising on Amazon is a really sexy thing to talk about right now, right? People want to know, how do I lower my A costs? How do I do all of these things? How do I structure my campaigns? But in reality, if you're not converting well, if you have a bad conversion rate on any given listing, you don't need to start with PPC. You need to start with conversion first. And so that's kind of, and the same with reviews. It always helps to have more reviews, but if you don't have a good product and you need to revamp that product first, then it always helps to know that as well. So that's my big thing, is you need to kind of start with, take a minor account audit, looking at your conversion rate, looking at your session report, looking at the number of reviews, because maybe reviews, if you don't have very many reviews, what are the reviews saying? Should you be doing more customer support on the front end of that? And then then of course you can move into A cost and the more advanced things from there. So I would say start with a minor account audit. Okay. So I assume asking this question is kind of like asking a parent which child is their favorite, but I'm guessing that you guys internally, or at least you personally, have one of these tools as your favorite. So what's kind of your go-to of this guy works great, you should work with this one? Totally. Feedback Genius is it's so OG. People really sleep on it. There's so many. it's been around for so long that people are like, oh yeah, that's old news. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, I don't want to, why do I even need to be asking for reviews? But like I said, like the power of it, like, it works, right? Email marketing works for a reason, right? And Feedback Genius isn't really email marketing, but sending that email and seeing that bump in reviews is going to help you. And that's like something that you can do whether you're an established seller or you are a $10 million a year, $10 million a month seller. Like, you can, that's something that you can do, and it will provide customer service, provide value to the customer, and then also bring you back value as well.
Okay. So here at Seller's Choice, big fans of Feedback Genius. We use it all the time. That's our go-to for, trying to help people with review generation, which is obviously, how we know you guys. So I know, I want to say it was like June or July or sometime over the summer when Amazon kind of hit with that new email rule about once someone unsubscribes, they unsubscribe from everyone and all that stuff, which obviously probably didn't help you guys in terms of Feedback Genius. But we still have found some interesting ways. I'm wondering, like, what is it you guys know that you can still do that's like within TOS that will still help and bring in reviews, or at least, keep that customer?
Totally. I love that question. I do want to talk about the blacklist for like just a second though.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's like a little bit of misinformation and misunderstanding of what the blacklist is. And obviously, like, you guys, if the email blacklist is just Amazon catching up with the rest of the laws of the internet, right? Where it's just like, if you subscribe to a marketing list, you should be able to unsubscribe, right? And you guys work with people all across the internet, across all sorts of different platforms. And like everywhere else, you can unsubscribe if you subscribe to a mailing list. But with Amazon, you couldn't do that. So it's really like, as a seller, it's to your benefit that people can unsubscribe now. Because those people who unsubscribed from you were never going to respond positively. I know you want to say, oh, but I'm special. They want to respond to my emails. They don't. If they unsubscribe, they were never going to have a positive reaction to leaving you a review or to leaving you a seller feedback. And we handle millions of emails a month. And so that's what we've seen, is that negative reviews and feedback have gone down, and that positive reviews have gone down as well, but not as much, just based on that.
Yeah.
So things that you can still do and stay white hat. That was the question, right? Going back to your original question.
Yeah.
So things you can do and still say white hat. There's still a lot. You can still ask for a review. You can still ask for a seller feedback. You can still provide customer support. You just have to be careful in the way that you phrase those things, right? So you can't like bait the customer into only leaving you positive reviews. You can't say, oh, we want you to leave a positive review only if you're going to leave a positive review. If you got a negative experience, go here. You can't do that anymore. That was something that a common tactic that used to be used. You can't do that anymore. That's considered review manipulation. What you can do is provide customer service, offer to fix the problem before they have one, and then in a separate thought, you can say, hey, please leave me a review. But you can't have the stars filled. So we have a image that you can use within your emails. It's all the stars, the Amazon review stars. You can send those if they're not filled in, but you can't send them if they are filled in. And it's just that's a great illustration of how Amazon kind of thinks, right? Where it's like, okay, you can suggest the image of stars, but you can't suggest 5 star, filled in 5 stars in yellow, because they view that as manipulation.
Okay.
So my suggestion is always lead with customer support. If you lead with customer support, and you try to provide value in that way, or try to provide value by giving extra tips on how to use it, or the classic give them the value added bonus, then that will help you provide a good customer service, and that's what reviews and seller feedback are ultimately assessments on.
Okay, nice. Good feedback. I like it. No pun intended.
What do you guys normally do with your accounts? Not to give away the secret sauce, like with accounts that you work with.
Big fans of doing the A/B testing. Testing. What is it, like ASINs that end in, or order numbers? Order numbers or ASINs? I can never remember. The ones that end in 1 through 5, and then testing it with 6 through 0. And being able to A/B test like subject lines and stuff, that's fantastic. To actually, it does have like an email marketing feel to it. Then sending them down more of a funnel. So first email being more of a, if we have a consumable, so if we have like a food or something like that, we just give them a recipe and be like, hey, we hope you try it. Like, try it with this. You may like it. Then they kind of see that email, they get familiar with it, and they see it next time, and they go, okay, now I'm going to open it, and that's when you request a review.
That's a beautiful use case.
I
love that.
We do a lot of like custom banners and stuff like that. I know, like, no email, like no websites, none of that. But if it's well branded and it looks nice, we find customers really. We have an interesting approach where we involve Amazon in our off Amazon approach. Yeah. So we'll drive people to a website where there's like an available on Amazon button that takes you to Amazon. The reason we do that is mainly to legitimize the brand a little bit more. And if people haven't shopped with you before, they're more comfortable to shop on Amazon. But you want to keep that customer. You want to be able to market to them again in the future. So what we started to do is in those emails, have them fully branded. So if they had a great experience, everything went well, now we can get them to come over to the website and be a little more, try to get that margin back. So we try to look at more of the lifetime value of the customer, which in the email front, it's a nice way to really try and keep that customer after an Amazon purchase with the extreme limitations that Amazon puts you through. But it is one of the things that we do here.
Yeah, I always when I speak at events and I'm talking to people of all like shapes and sizes, have sold on Amazon before, have their own marketplace that they, their own website. I always try to encourage people that you don't have to completely rebuild the machine, right? You don't have to like reinvent the wheel, but like you do need to edit the content so that it fits your audience on Amazon, because it is a different audience. And so like what you said, like still having your branding, but making the slight edits so that it, fits within Amazon terms of service, but they legitimizes you and makes them say, well, what if I search it off of Amazon and find your site? Like, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So let's pivot for a second. Let's talk about PPC real quick, because I know I've spoken to Jeff Cohen. That is a fantastic T-shirt. Where did you make that?
Yeah, they're Seller Lab shirts.
Oh, I'm gonna have to hit you guys up for one of those.
I'll send you guys one.
That would be fantastic.
I'll send the Seller's Choice office.
That's great. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I know Jeff. I know. So I've spoken to Jeff obviously tons of times. I know he's a big fan of Ignite. He's always talking about Ignite when I talk to him. So Jeff, the CEO over at Seller Labs. So we'll pivot to Ignite. So I'm really curious with the new sponsored products targeting for interests and brand specific and stuff like that. Have you guys had time to even figure out how to utilize that option within Ignite?
So it's not currently available within Ignite. Our team is working on it.
Yeah.
Part of the fun of being a software developer is that sometimes these things are made available immediately to us within APIs, and sometimes they kind of like slow roll it out to us.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where we're working on it now that we have access to it. We're working on it. I don't have a timeline on it, unfortunately. I'm not that involved with that, but Jeff and I are definitely like champing at the bit to get them up and running with it, but I don't think that's something that's currently available.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we saw, it just got released to pretty much everyone quietly and relatively recently.
Right.
And we've started to play with it. It's not anything even we've rolled out just because we don't want to offer something that we're not 100% comfortable with. But it is a cool concept. My thought is that they got rid of product display ads and basically kind of like merged sponsored products and product display ads is kind of how I see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but it is interesting. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, me too. It's really interesting to see how the ad platform on Amazon continues to evolve, right? Like, it's even from a year ago and 6 months ago, we've seen the ad platform evolve, and I think we'll continue to see it become refined, from the 3 different services to eventually one holistic service, and maybe even the different versions of that, like you said, like the product display kind of merging in. I think we'll continue to see that as well.
So I don't want to take up too much of your Friday, so I'll wrap up with I have one last question for you guys.
Yeah.
So 2019 trends that you guys are seeing? Anything on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. 2019 trends. I think that advertising is going to continue just to be like the hot topic thing, right? I mean, I can't remember the name of the place that put out the report. I'll comment back in it after this. I'll come back in and comment. But there was that report that came out that showed all of the placements of the sponsored product ads highlighted in red for each of the different searches.
Yeah.
And it's so significant. And I think that what we're going to continue to see in 2019 is that being able to fine tune and refine both your listings that because advertising is becoming even more popular and there's such a priority put on it, that puts an even higher priority on making sure you have your basics right. If you don't have that foundation, if you don't have reviews, if you don't have an optimized listing, your ACoS is going to be through the roof, and you're not going to be able to compete if you don't have those things. Because advertising already, I mean, I'm sure you can speak to this, advertising on some keywords has tripled or quadrupled within the last year, easy, right? Sometimes it goes from not being competitive at all to suddenly you're paying, we went from 10 cents a click to over $1 a click within, a couple months.
Oh yeah.
And so it's, as that only continues, and as Amazon continues to pace with or outpace Google and Facebook advertising, I think we're only going to see that the foundations become more and more important.
Yeah.
So that's my 2019 trend in a nutshell, I think.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you doing this with me. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I like to keep these relatively short, but we could do this all day. So why don't you give me some closing statement kind of thing on where people can find Seller Labs, because we're gonna end up posting this everywhere, so that way they can find you guys in the future.
Yeah, so you can find us at sellerlabs.com, and that's SELLERLABS.com. We also have a great blog post that we published with you guys a month or two ago about building your brand on Amazon, and I think that's a great post and probably a great place to start engaging with us as well and kind of understand what we're all about. So either of those two places would be awesome.
Perfect. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I will talk to you guys soon, I'm sure. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, happy Black Friday.
Good luck out there.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.